Change of subject. You all heard about Chandra Levy. Well, they convicted a Salvadoran immigrant. I don't know if he was legal or illegal. Doesn't really matter in this case. Oh, he was an illegal immigrant. What really matters is that he was convicted of a murder. Now, wait a minute. I just better qualify that. I know there's going to be people out there who are going to say, yes, it does matter whether he's legal or illegal. No, I'm just saying that in a particular context, it doesn't matter because he killed someone, or so they say he did. He was convicted. Well, evidently, despite the fact he's already in jail and faces practically the rest of his life in jail. I mean, he attacked women. He's admitted to that. He's not a nice guy, whether he's legal or illegal. But anyway, he's a criminal. He's a savage. But he still denies having killed Chandra Levy. Now, I don't know whether he did or he didn't. A lot of people say, oh, he was just a fall guy for this group or that group, and they've spun a lot of conspiracy theories about Chandra Levy. Well, I'm not here to talk about that because at this point it really doesn't matter, just as it really doesn't matter really whether Jared Lochner was or is Jewish or not. Here's what matters to me. Mrs. Susan Levy, the mother of Chandra Levy. Now, this woman and her family, you know, they got a hell of a lot of attention over their daughter. And I want to tell you, there's a lot of young ladies, mostly black, but not all black, but a lot of young ladies and men and all sorts of people who are murdered all the time in Washington, D.C. Now, while it's true, it's mostly criminals killing other criminals, but not always. I've known a couple people who've lost family members in murders that have hardly even been investigated. But the Levy family got the attention, the sympathy of everybody. They got it all. And they finally got what they wanted. They wanted somebody convicted of her crime. And the guy who was convicted said he didn't do it. But be that as it may, Mrs. Levy was allowed to speak. Mrs. Levy, the mother of Chandra Levy, was allowed to speak in the court. Well, she said he was lower than a cockroach. They asked him, would you have done this to your mother, to your sister? And then she evidently snapped at him and said, blankety blank, you. Quite articulate woman. She said, how could you take my daughter's life? Did you really take her life? Look me in the eyes and tell me. Well, the killer said, I am sorry for what happened to your daughter, but I had nothing to do with it. I am innocent. Okay, I'm just giving you the dramatic soap opera details. Here's what interested me. Mrs. Levy said, because of you, young man, you have caused us to live a Holocaust again. You know, if I'd have been in that courtroom, sitting there as an observer, you know what I'd have said? There we go again with the Holocaust. Apparently in another report here, Mrs. Levy said that her husband was a Holocaust survivor and had been forced to relive the suffering of that experience as a result of the murder of his daughter. Ladies and gentlemen, let me just say this. To hell with the Holocaust. I am so damn sick and tired of hearing about the Holocaust. And you know what? Now I know Alex Jones said after Michael Jackson died, he said, forget about Michael Jackson, remember the Holocaust, or something, words to that effect. And I know that sounds good, and I know that's the proper thing to say, but I mean, can you believe that? This shrieker, this Susan Levy, and oh my God, I know there's going to be a lot of people who are mad at me. How dare Piper criticize the mother of that poor Jewish girl that was violently murdered by that illegal alien in Rock Creek Park? How dare he say these terrible things about Mrs. Levy? Mrs. Levy, you know what? someone should have slapped the woman across the mouth, right there in the courtroom. How dare she bring up the Holocaust? But see, she's Jewish, so she's allowed to. She's Jewish, and her daughter was a Jewish victim, so therefore, it's all well and good to bring up the Holocaust. Ladies and gentlemen, to hell with the Holocaust. Quote me on that.